Remembrance of Things Past, also known as In Search of Lost Time, is a novel by French writer and critic Marcel Proust, first published in 7 volumes between 1913 and 1927, with some appearing posthumously. Often seen as loosely autobiographical, the novel follows the life of an unnamed young man whose experiences with love, loss, and relationships form the emotional core of the narrative. These interactions add richness to the social world in which he lives, fueling the plot. The novel is widely regarded as a masterpiece of early 20th century literature, with Proust's distinctive style and themes influencing numerous modernist writers, both through admiration and parody. It opens with the narrator's reflections on his early years, particularly his time spent at the estate of Combray. There, he experiences deep unhappiness, finding solace only in the love and affection of his mother, especially the nightly kiss before bed. Initially, Combray is frequently visited by a man named Swann, though his visits become rarer after he marries. In one pivotal moment, the narrator is punished and sent to bed early, only to have his mother refuse to kiss him goodnight. His father, noticing his distress, orders his mother to comfort him by sleeping beside him, an act that confuses and alienates the young boy. This emotional turmoil drives him to withdraw from social life, seeking solace in books. Through his friend Bloch, the narrator discovers the work of the writer Bergot, whose works captivate him. The narrator learns that Swann's daughter is acquainted with Bergot, and despite the estrangement between Swann and his family due to his marriage, the narrator tries unsuccessfully to connect with her. The narrative shifts, and the narrator eventually leaves Combray to spend time in the Champs-Élysées. He is frustrated by his poor health, which limits his travels. He befriends Gilberte, Swann's daughter, and observes the tense relationship between Swann and a woman named Odette, as well as the social ostracism they face for their unconventional relationship. At Gilberte's tea parties, the narrator finally meets Bergot and hears his perspectives on society and politics. After obtaining what he wanted from Gilberte, the narrator moves on from her. 2 years later, the narrator travels to Baalbek, where he is struck by a profound sense of loneliness that exacerbates his health issues. However, he gradually comes to terms with the beauty of the city and begins to recover, despite remaining isolated from others. During his time there, he encounters a group of girls, and his infatuation with them becomes another turning point in his emotional journey. At a party one evening, the narrator meets a painter named Elstier, who invites him to visit his studio. When he does, he looks out the window and spots one of the girls from the group he's been observing. He persuades Elstier to host a tea party and invites Albertine, one of his love interests. Soon, Albertine and the narrator grow close, taking walks together and discussing their shared discontent with the limitations of their society. Albertine introduces him to 2 friends, Giselle and André, but soon grows jealous when she notices his attraction to Giselle. In a fit of emotion, she writes the narrator a note professing her love, which causes him to fall for her in return. However, his passion leads to an invasion of her hotel room one night, and Albertine, terrified, calls for help. Meanwhile, the narrator's grandmother falls ill in Paris, prompting the family to move into a flat attached to the Hotel de Guermantes. The narrator becomes intrigued by Maman de Guermantes and attends the opera, hoping to get closer to her. She notices his repeated attempts to engage with her and becomes irritated. The narrator visits his friend, Saint Loup, in Doncières, hoping to find a way to connect with Maman de Guermantes, but he returns early to check on his grandmother, whose condition worsens. Soon, she develops a high fever and suffers a stroke. The doctor's prognosis is grim, and he advises the narrator to abandon hope. Their family's servant, Françoise, takes care of the grandmother as she receives visits from her friends. Despite their efforts, she weakens and dies. After her death, Albertine comes to Paris and rekindles her courtship with the narrator. No longer obsessed with Maman de Guermantes, the narrator shifts his focus to fostering a friendship with her. Maman de Guermantes invites him to dinner, and he attends with Saint Loup. At first, the dinner guests look down on him, but they change their attitude once they learn of his connection with Saint Loup. However, the evening disappoints him, and he begins to feel disillusioned with his constant, unfulfilled pursuits of love. He leaves the dinner and seeks out Meme de Charlus, who is rude to him as well. Meme de Charlus accuses the narrator of spreading rumors about him, but the misunderstanding is cleared up and they reconcile. The novel concludes with the narrator traveling to the Guermantes estate, where he finds M. Swann on his deathbed. Remembrance of Things Past is a deeply interpersonal novel, exploring the tension between the narrator's subjective views, shaped by his emotions and relationships, and the social world he inhabits. Ultimately, the narrator learns to reconcile his idealized expectations with the realities of life, gaining a broader understanding of the shifting attitudes and expectations in early 20th century Europe. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy this video, leave a like and subscribe.